Base shutdown complete. Vital signs stable. Activating various suit. Suit diagnostic complete. All systems functional.
Hey there everybody, redxparasite here, and welcome to my Let's Play of Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. So, starting off here, we had a fun little cutscene to get things off, and we turn our ship around. Oh yeah, by the way, we're, inside the ship. That's kind of a new thing. But you can see a bunch of Galactic Federation ships here.
Unidentified vessel, please switch to a secure radio frequency and transmit your identity code. We're standing by.
Alright, so we just got hailed here. Now the HUD is pretty obvious here. It's flashing and it's making a noise, plus there are a whole bunch of arrows pointing to it. I don't know how you could possibly miss it. So we have to type in this code. I'm not exactly sure what these characters are, but you just have to type in this code. So it's that, and then that.
Transmission verified. Greetings, Samus. We welcome you on behalf of the Galactic Federation.
Now, unfortunately, there aren't any
Proceed to the command ship Olympus. You've been cleared for docking bay 5.
like subtitles for that part, and the voices are a little bit quiet. So if I kind of just shut up, it might be because I don't want to talk over some stuff like that. So this stuff is all pretty straightforward. We will get into more about the functionality of our ship once we get past the tutorial section that we're going to have here. So also we have a new ship. This is actually probably my favorite ship of hers, and we won't see exactly why immediately, but this ship is able to do some cool things. And plus the design is pretty sleek too. It also has the added benefit of you don't have to jump to get inside the ship. The entrance actually lowers down instead of being on top of it, which is a little bit more practical, if only slightly boring. So, starting off, we have our scan visor like we do in the other Prime games. It's a little bit different in terms of how it functions. Obviously, you can still scan things, and that is the same, but you can still obviously go into the logbook for the main entry, but the kind of flavor text here isn't as long as it was in Prime 2, so you're going to have to go into the logbook to actually get the full details on something most of the time. So, this is our Hunter-class gunship. Based on the previous version, the new Hunter-class gunship is a fusion of Federation and Chozo technology. Designed by Samus Aran, this one-of-a-kind vessel was custom-built at the Federation shipyard of Alias 3. It is equipped with a powerful Chozo biotech computer that can interface with Aran via a command visor unit, and we'll get into what that is later. The ship contains a mobile energy recharge system, micro factories designed to produce ammunition, and an advanced medical bay. So, we don't actually get one for that, so I'll get into the credit system once we actually run into some things that get us credits. Because unlike the first two games in the trilogy version, the Prime 3 was actually designed around that credit system. So I will explain it once we get to that point. So I'm just kind of scanning some of these things. These aren't important scans, so they're not part of the logbook, but of course can never hurt to scan everything. So a cargo truck, and there's a door behind this. I'm totally ignoring what the game wants me to be doing right now. So you're supposed to calibrate your weapon by shooting these targets. I'm going to pause here for a moment and go into the options and just check a few things. So rumble on, lock on free aim, which basically if you turn this off whenever you're locked onto something, you won't be able to move the pointer around. You'll just be aiming at what you're locked onto, which might seem like a good idea, but it can actually be disadvantageous some of the time. You can swap jump and fire, you can swap visor and something else, which we'll find out what it is soon. And I have the sensitivity set to advanced, which basically just means it turns a little bit faster. I wanted to double check that before we get into everything.
Calibration complete. Samus, welcome to the flagship Olympus. Admiral Dane is waiting for you in the briefing room. I will upload the location to you now.
This game is a little bit different from the other two Prime games in that there is a little bit more of a plot-heavy story in it. Whereas the first Prime game especially was the story was told primarily through the lore entries. Prime 2, obviously, you had Numos that you kind of talked to and got your missions from, but there's actually a lot more dialogue in this game, so a lot more people speaking. You interact with the Federation a little bit more directly in this game instead of just kind of being sent to places to investigate things, like you were in Prime 2. So there's a little mini game here where you can shoot these canisters into the air and juggle them. It's kind of like that was great. It's kind of like that one. I think it's a mini game in Duck Hunt where you shoot the can up into the air and you have to keep it in the air. So it's just a matter of juggling it. And this is actually a really good way of kind of testing the sensitivity of the aiming, and you can see just how precise the aiming controls can actually be. I'm impressed that I got to 17 while I was still talking and giving that explanation. So if you get above 10, it will give you a gold credit for that. So I guess I can talk about the credits now. So for scanning certain things in the logbook, you will get credits. So creatures will get you a red credit. Scanning research stuff will get you a blue credit. And then the gold credits you get for doing various different things. You'll get them for beating bosses. If you fulfill specific requirements, like this mini game here, you will also get a gold credit. So the gold credits are probably one of the harder ones to get most of the time, just because there aren't as many of them. But now that we've gotten that fun little mini game out of the way, we will actually try to move forward and get something done this episode. So actually, I just scanned that. I got a red credit for it. So mechanoid training drone used by Galactic Federation military forces as targets and weapons training. The training drone is used in all branches of the GF military. They are designed to improve hand-eye coordination and accuracy. One popular training exercise is to score as many consecutive hits on a drone as possible. Gambling on shooting contests involving training drones is frowned upon, but fairly popular throughout the GF armed forces. So I believe we can also scan these guys. So Federation Marine, trained for combat situations. And actually these might... Oh, okay, we did get a credit for it. Alright, so I'm just going to take another quick look around before we leave, but I think I've scanned everything that I can here. So, only took us, about 10 minutes or so to get through everything in the first room and the preliminary cutscenes. So we're going to need to shoot these to unlock the ramps to get up. Now, you can actually get up to the upper level here by doing something kind of clever with a jump ball and an instant unmorph, but it's difficult to do, and I'm not trying to speedrun the game, so I won't do it. So this is a male fleet trooper, untrained for combat situations, so I'm pretty sure that you won't get a credit for this. Nope, or you will. So it is worth noting that you only get credits for the first time that you scan a given, creature or get a logbook entry. If you replay the game and you already have that scan, then you will not get another credit for it. So there are, a limited number of credits in the game that you can get. So one of the things that I do kind of like about Prime 3 is that you get to see kind of the inside of the Federation that you haven't in some of the other games. So
That was some nasty business.
you get to see, the inner workings. You get to see people kind of working just on various things, and it's really neat. It might not, be the most Metroid-like kind of thing, because obviously there's not really a ton of exploration going on here, but we'll get into that, in a little bit. So, got some systems diagnostics. Looks like they're working on a big ship in the hangar. And actually, if you look at it, it's the same type of ship, or it's very similar to the one that the Marines were on in Prime 2. So yeah, I think it was a Stiletto class fighter. So we've got a door that is locked up ahead. So this is a blast shield. We cannot break it. It's invulnerable to all types of weapon fire. And we've got a terminal, security code on it. So if you scan this, it will give, you can get your access code from here. Now, having played this game a number of times, I happen to have Samus's access code memorized. So it's 13576. So you can actually scan the code in without interacting with this panel, as long as you know what it is. So Samus Aran, access code 13576. So you can get a quick scan here. So this is another bounty hunter by the name of Gore, capable of merging cybernetic body into larger mechanisms. So Gore is a cybernetic bounty hunter capable. Okay, we just got that. The most common of these is his armor suit, which doubles as a gunship and provides him with a formidable combat arsenal. The merges are often accompanied by a shift in personality, replacing his normally calm demeanor with an aggressive attitude. He demonstrates a high proficiency with all things mechanical and is often called upon for missions requiring computer infiltration or manipulation. So I get the feeling we will be seeing more of him, not just because I know things about the game. So there's a lore entry on the other side of this room that you can actually snipe from this side. So this is a Galactic Federation data file, so we can check it out in the logbook. The Olympus-class battleship is the first Federation capital ship designed to use an onboard Aurora unit. They are the flagships of fleets they serve in, usually commanded by an officer of flag rank. Battleships of this class have smaller crews than most ships of a similar size due to the presence of the Aurora unit. The space saved in crew support is used for more battle systems. The enormous vessels are powered by fuel gel, making the scarce commodity of extreme value to the Federation military. So there's actually a lot of kind of buried information in some of these logbooks that we will learn a little bit more about as we get a little bit farther here, including stuff about the Aurora units, fuel gel, and all that. So none of these computers have anything really important on them. So since this game was the first one to actually incorporate the motion controls as part of its primary design, the trilogy versions or the new play control versions of Prime 1 and Prime 2 were adapted from the GameCube games, which were, obviously just had the stick controls. So you'll have a lot of these handles or pumps that you can twist, you can pull, twist, and then slide back in. So they can be a little bit finicky, especially if you try to do them really fast. Then sometimes it gets a little wonky. But We have to go through a scanning process here just to make sure that, you know, we're not trying to smuggle anything dangerous on board. And, you know, to make sure that we're not introducing any pathogens or dangerous diseases. It's also a good idea. So this biohazard scanner here, this one's completely automated. You don't actually have to do anything for that one. In the future, when you do biohazard scans, you do actually have to line up things using the motion controls, and it's actually kind of annoying.
No hazardous material detected. Samus, you are cleared for the command bridge.
So, we're all clear. Of course, in order to exit... Oh, great. See, this is going to be a problem. With the motion controls, I'm going to have to make really sure that I do not bump into the mic stand, as I just did there. So I might not be able to take those or do them quite as fast as I might usually do. Because I need to avoid, you know, jerky, quick motions. Consoles operate nearby security systems. A unique passcode is required to gain access. Okay. Oh, let's see. So, this is actually a turret in the ceiling. Now, since we're on a Galactic Federation ship and, you know, we're friendly, this will not actually come out and shoot us. But if you go and you start shooting at some of the crew members, they won't actually get hurt. But if you do it enough, the defense systems will activate and will target you, which is kind of a cool little detail. So this is a Halberd class turret, automated turret that tracks targets. Quick movement can evade targeting. The GMX-04 Halberd class turret replaces the dated Growler turret, which is actually kind of cool because there's continuity between, you know, the Growler turrets that we saw in the previous Prime games and this turret. It is an effective point defense system for most security zones. It is lightly armored and nimble. Targets can evade its tracking system. So that's another scan. This is another panel which I think is not important. So I will admit up front here that I am not the best at the logbook completion for Prime 3. Now I am still going to do it along with getting 100% of the items, but I would not be at all surprised if I miss some scans and have to go back and get them. So I'm probably going to be 0 for 3 on getting all of the scans in one playthrough throughout the entire trilogy. So we've got ourselves an elevator here, and obviously you need to scan it in order to activate it initially, and then you just step into the hologram, go into it. Now the minimap is actually, I don't know why it looks so cool in this game compared to the previous games. Just the rotation on it is like really slick. It's up there in the top right corner. And of course we have a radar up in the top left, but we don't have any enemies that we've seen thus far, so there's, you know, been nothing for us to actually shoot at or see on our radar yet. So we're finally here on the command bridge. So another thing that's different about this game, and I haven't been doing it so far, so I can show it off here.
It's an honor to meet you.
You can actually speak with people, which, you know, it was kind of difficult to do because there really weren't people in the other two Prime games. So most of the conversations won't really be that meaningful. They'll just be like, "Oh, you're Samus Aran," you know. But they are kind of neat little tidbits of things that kind of, you know, at least somewhat make the NPCs feel a little bit more alive and not just there. So we have a trooper here. If you talk to him, basically he wants you to save before we advance the plot, and you actually have to go to the save station. I'm not sure if you have to save, like if saving is a requirement in order to get past this, or if you just have to go to the room. But I mean, obviously, never hurts to save. So this is the ramp back down, and not the door I wanted to go into. So we've got more crates here, and they're actually blocking the door. So in this game, I believe that these are not part of the logbook. You know, same thing with Prime 2. They do not count for logbook completion, so you don't have to worry about scanning ammo in this game. However, I do believe that the save station is a scan that you need to get. Or not. So, you can go back into the pause menu here, and on the right, this just recenters the map on wherever Samus is. So, that's pretty handy. So that, oh yeah, sorry, that's the map symbol. So here's the logbook. It's divided up, it's organized a little differently. This is probably better in terms of being able to access things efficiently than some of the other games. Like the Prime 2 logbook, for as nice as the menu or like the HUD was when you were actually scanning things, the navigating the actual scan menu was a little bit annoying. So this one just has a straight list. I didn't actually mean to back out of it there, but this one just kind of has a straight list, and sometimes they're organized into subcategories. So, you know, here's the lore, and there's the first one that we scanned here for the Galactic Federation data. The research is all organized into one, and then you have the creatures kind of broken down by major areas. So here's the inventory screen. And you can also view how many credits you have at any given point. So we have 1 gold credit, 1 blue credit, and 7 red credits. And then, of course, there are the options. So I'm going to save here, and this is actually a good place to cut out this episode. So thank you very much for watching this first episode of Let's Play Metroid Prime 3. I've been redxparasite, signing out.